Thanks for joining us at the Skunk Juice Studio. Well, it's bedtime here for these guys and me. So, we wanted to share with you our end of the day book, Maggi and Milo. Let's find out what Maggi and Milo are doing. This is Maggi. Maggi is an excellent adventurer, a pretty good songwriter, a bit of a scientist, and Milo's a very best friend. This is Milo. Milo is a dog. My kids. Okay, and then there was this awesome package from Maggi's grandmother that she had sent. It had all the necessities for a frog hunt, boots, and knowledge. Country dogs like Milo don't wear boots. That night, Maggi told Milo, "We need to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, we hunt frogs." Ready? The next morning, Maggi pulled on her new blue boots, which were perfect for this kind of adventure, and her favorite dress, which was just plain perfect. And she was off. Well, almost. Maggi ran back to the bathroom to brush her teeth, which she had completely forgotten to do. At breakfast, Maggi handed a note to her brother that said, "Please keep the chit-chat to a minimum. I'm in a hurry." Her brother rolled his eyes, which apparently is how 12-year-old boys communicate. Maggi focused. Eating quickly requires serious concentration. Breakfast took exactly 11 3/4 bites. Then she was off, for real this time. "I am Frog Hunter," shouted Maggi. Stopping at the edge of the world, she called, "Milo! Milo! I am Frog Hunters, and he is Milo." Together, Maggi and Milo ran down the hill, past the chicken coop, through the valley of the ferns, and all the way to the pond where Maggi tested the waterproofness of her new blue boots. After sufficient stomping, she announced, "Milo, my feet are perfectly dry." That's important. Grandma always says wet feet make for a very long day, which is true. Wet feet do make for a long day. Maggi stood in the water. She waited for a frog. Maggi waited 1,000,000 minutes. Nothing happened. This was boring. Boring, boring, in all capital letters. BORING. Boring. Maggi sang a song. She sang about frogs and waiting and blue boots. Milo wandered off. My goodness. So far, This was not working out as planned. "Milo," called Maggie. He wasn't there. "Milo." Maggie tried very hard not to think about losing Milo or being alone. In front of her, the cattails moved. "Milo, is that you?" she asked, trying to sound brave. Slowly, Maggie pulled apart the cattails. And there, in the muck, was Milo. And a frog! A frog! Milo had found a frog! Yes! Maggie reached down and caught that frog. "Hi, I'm Maggie, and this is Milo. You will be called Alexander. Welcome to our pond." Gently, Maggie placed Alexander back into the water. She had to be very careful. Frogs are terribly squirrely. "Milo, you are so smart," squealed Maggie. This is a true statement. Border collies are very smart. Milo barked, wagged his tail, and ran to another spot. Maggie followed close behind, and there in the muck was another frog. Maggie named the second frog Benjamin, the third one Cooper, the fourth one Daniel. See the pattern? ABC. After meeting Oliver, Maggie realized all the frogs they had found were boys. That was absurd. The world does not need any more boys, Maggie proclaimed. She found Princess Penelope under a lily pad. Holding her newest catch, Maggie said, "Milo, there is no way I can think of a girl's name that begins with the letter Q." So Maggie and Milo rested. It's not easy work, this frog hunting. As Milo slept, Maggie sang a song, a quiet end of the day song. Afterwards, Maggie and Milo walked home through the valley of the ferns, past the chicken coop, and all the way back up the hill. Just as the sun was setting, they heard the most marvelous music. Side by side, they sat on the edge of the world, just listening to the frogs say good night. When the last note faded, Maggie said, "Milo, that was the very best day. I cannot wait till our next adventure." The end. Wasn't that great? Maggie and Milo frog hunting. Thanks for joining us. And what does Maggie and Milo and the frogs and everyone do? We need to sprinkle more kindness, right? So we will see you next week. Bye, guys.